After an incredible comeback from an 8-0 deficit to end up tying it in the 8th inning at 11, the Blue Jays fall in extra innings 14-11 to the Miami Marlins. And you know what? I'll stand here and say right away, the Jays did not deserve to win this game today. And people will be saying, well, they hit 7 home runs, they came back, they deserved it. No, they didn't. The reason they were down 8-0 in this game in the first place, yes, Nate Pearson wasn't great, Waguespack wasn't great, but the defense and just the heads-up baseball was not there. They weren't using their brains. They were all over the place, and that continued in extra innings with Rafael Dolis, who was all over the place. Should be covering third on that bunt play, and City runs right at home plate. That's why the ball went into no man's land, because he should be covering third base. It would have been weird to see him take the ground ball and fire it onto first, but that was his play to cover third, but he didn't. Then he throws a wild pitch. Then he just has a disaster of a time. The pitching and the defense was horrendous today. You make plays, you pitch fairly well, and the pitchers don't make the mistakes, you win this ball game. I have said it time and time again. Defense and pitching wins you games and wins you championships. And the Jays did neither of those today, hence why they gave up 14 runs on 14 hits, had 3 errors, and you hit 7 home runs and lost. For the 4th time in MLB history that has happened for a team to have 7 home runs in a game and lose. It's embarrassing. I'm trying to watch that game. And I'm watching the ball get booted around and watching players not know where they're going and whatnot. And I'm like, what the hell am I watching here? Is this minor league baseball or the big leagues? I understand some players are learning new positions. Some players are new to the big leagues. And what? Yeah, for God's sake, Shin Yamaguchi was one of the most steady guys out there today. That's a problem when that's the case. It wasn't pretty. They didn't deserve to win. Was it nice to see them come back and show the effort and put it in? Absolutely. But they didn't deserve to win the game, and they didn't win the game. Now, let's get to this real quick. Like I said, Nate Pearson got the start today, and he was just having trouble with command right from the get-go. He got the first 2 guys and looked okay, but then once he gave the home run to Brian Anderson, the 3-run shot to Brian Anderson, it fell down from there. He went 2 1/3, 5 hits, 7 runs, 4 were earned, hence the errors and the booting it around, 1 strikeout, and 4 walks. Pearson wasn't good. And just because he has a couple bad starts, people are going to jump off the bandwagon and say he's garbage and whatnot, and that's fine. They can do that, but we all know what Nate Pearson can be and will be, and he knows it. It's just going to take him some time. He's a young player. He's never pitched in the big leagues before. 3 starts in the big leagues. He's going to have some tough times. The great players find ways to get out of those kerfuffles, and he will do so. Now, like I said, Brian Anderson had the 3-run shot, then Alvarez had a bases-loaded walk in the 3rd inning, then an error from Guerrero. Sierra, on a safe at first, Sierra was safe at first. On a fielding error by Guerrero, Matt Joyce scored Cervelli to 3rd. Then on a Jansen pass ball, Cervelli comes in and scores. All right? And then I think, did Alvarez come in to score as well? I don't even know what happened in the play. It was just a complete disaster. In that 3rd inning, they scored 5 in the inning, and just like that, you were down 8-0. Yeah, then the Jays start to claw back at it, right? Teoscar Hernandez, 2-run shot, good job. Bottom of the 4th inning, Rowdy Tellez, 2-run shot. But then VR hits an RBI single, and then Aguilar hits an RBI single, and there goes one of your 2-run shots right there. They end up scoring 3 runs in the inning, making it an 11-4 ball game. So any of that idea of an 8-4 game, and we've cut it in half, let's see what we can do. They add 3 more. And it just was not a pretty ball game, guys. And the Jays, bottom of the 5th, Travis Shaw, 2-run shot again. We're like, oh, it's 11-6 now. They're not going away. Then Danny Jansen, 2-run shot the next inning. Okay, wow, it's 11-8. So only a 3-run home run away from tying this ball game. Bottom of the 7th, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., solo shot. All right, 11-9 now. What is happening? This is really close. And then in the bottom of the 8th inning, Bo Bichette absolutely slaughters a pitch from Brad Boxberger, making it an 11-10 game. And we're like, this team is crushing balls. What's going on? Then Travis Shaw comes up and destroys the ball into the seats. And we're tied at 11. The Jays hit 7 home runs. They're clubbing the ball around. It looks like a AAA ball game out there on a AAA field. And they've tied the game at 11. We're like, this is fantastic. Holy smokes, they come back. They have a chance to win the game. Charlie Montoyo makes an interesting move. And I want to hear your guys' take on this. In that inning, in that bottom of the 8th inning, it was the 8th inning or the 9th inning. I think it was the 8th. I could be totally wrong about it. They pinch run Vladdy for Anthony Alford. Now you'd think you'd want Anthony Alford for an extra inning game to have him at second base, no matter what. If it was a tie ball game and you needed that run, you'd want him at second base, like you did yesterday. Okay, they put him in there. They want to get this run and end this game. They're on a roll and want to get... I get that. He's got to be going on the first pitch or two. First off, Grichuk strikes out on 3 pitches, but Anthony Alford doesn't move. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if that's him not being able to read... who was it, Kinsler? Kinsler that was pitching that at that time? I think maybe he just couldn't read the guy. I don't know. But when you put a guy with that speed in there to get rid of Vladdy's bat... in that type of situation, you're trying to get him into scoring position for Randall Grichuk. And he stayed at first base. So that just wasted that opportunity. You know, Vladdy's now not in the game. I understand it didn't come back to hurt the Jays. If Gurriel actually got on base there in that last half inning, Brandon Drury would end up hitting, which would have been Vladdy's spot. And then we would have been talking something different. But obviously it didn't come back to hurt the Jays. But it was just a really questionable move. I didn't really understand it too much. I understand putting him in, but not having him run... I was really confused about that. But it didn't end up happening. The Leafs went out there in the 10th, looked completely lost, and they scored, what was it? They scored 3 runs, and that was the end of the ball game. Jays get the walk from, who walked? Was it Bo Bichette there in the bottom half of the 10th inning? And we're like, hey, tying runs to the plate now. You got guys who have hit the home run already today, and Travis Shaw and Teoscar Hernandez. And then you have Lourdes Gurriel coming up next. You have an opportunity here. And then Travis Shaw, I understand as a baseball player, look, as a fan who doesn't play the game, you see a fastball down the middle and you're like, why'd you not swing? But as a baseball player myself, and as all baseball players will know, when you're looking for a pitch and you're so sold on the pitch and you don't get that pitch, especially when it's a fastball, you kind of lock up and you're like, oh my, why did I not swing? And that's exactly what happened with Travis Shaw right there. He was looking breaking ball. He was getting pounded with breaking balls the entire at bat. He was fouling them off. And then he finally got a fastball and couldn't pull the trigger and strikes out. And it was right down the middle. If he did take a hack at that, it might have had a good chance. But it missed. He didn't get anything going there. And then Gurriel struck out looking stupid. Hernandez struck out looking stupid. Ball game. Jays lose it. You got to pitch better. And you got to play defense better. It's plain and simple, guys. This team defensively, before that Boston series, was doing fantastic. They only had like 1 error on the year, and we're like, this team is playing fantastic defense. What's going on here? The pitching's doing great. Where's the offense? Today, you got the offense. You didn't get any other stuff. Let's go through these numbers offensively, though, guys. There were some pretty numbers here. The Jays did have 11 runs on 18 hits. I don't know where this has been the first, 3 weeks of the season, or 2 weeks of the season, but holy smokes, it's crazy. Kevin Biggio ends up going 0 for 5 on the game, though, with a walk. Bo Bichette goes 5 for 5, scores 3 runs, hits the home run, gets the RBI, and walks once and steals 2 bags. He's a complete player. His batting average up to 352 with a 386 on base. The guy's incredible. Flat out, Bo Bichette, an incredible player. Travis Shaw, 2 for 5 in the game, 3 RBIs, 2 home runs, 2 runs scored, and he walked once as well. Guys, he's hitting 267 with a 353 on base. He's had some pretty good numbers there for Travis Shaw. Teoscar Hernandez 1 for 6 in the game, like I said, with the home run that he hit. Lourdes Gurriel 1 for 6. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 2 for 5. Good to see then. And the big thing for Vladdy, great to see him hit the home run, especially to hit the opposite field too. I'll take that from Vladdy. Great to see him make that solid contact. 2 for 5, raising his average to 237 on the year. Still not where he wants to be, but a step in the right direction, especially on the power side of things for Vladdy. 2 for 4 for Randall Grichuk with a run scored and a walk. Rowdy Tellez with a big night, 3 for 5, 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs. Good job, Rowdy. And Danny Jansen, 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a run scored in this one. And like I mentioned, the pitching staff was not very good. We already talked about Pearson's line. Waguespack was not much better at all. 2 1/3, 5 hits, 4 runs. Again, only 2 of those were earned, and 3 strikeouts and a walk, so he wasn't great. And then Shin Yamaguchi comes out. I mean, this is where it gets funny. After Pearson and Waguespack give up 10 runs combined, walk 5 guys, give up 11 hits, Yamaguchi goes out there for 2 1/3, the same as the other guys, no hits, no walks, and 4 strikeouts. What? We're not used to that, but a great job from Shun Yamaguchi. You got to give the guy credit for credit is due. He was great there tonight. Fantastic. Ryan Brucke out there for 1 inning. I mean, you know what Ryan Brucke's going to do for you. No hits, no walks, couple strikeouts. Great job. Jordan Romano coming in there in the 9th inning. Fantastic. 1 inning. I would have liked... See, that's the thing, guys. What would you have done with Romano in that situation? It's a really tough situation the Jays were in there because in the 9th inning, you want to shut them down, go to the bottom half, and win it in the 9th inning. But I would have much rather have Romano face guys with a runner already at second base. Then he has that strikeout stuff to get all these guys out. He's playing amazing. And I would have loved to have him out there in the top of the 10th inning, but you can't bank on that, right? You can't bank on him being out there in the top of the 10th inning because if you throw somebody out there in the top of the 9th inning, they blow it, you won't even see Romano, and then you miss the opportunity. So it was a really toss-up situation there for Charlie Montoya. I understand what he did, what he did when he did it. And Dolis has been great so far this year, but he was not good today. 2/3 an inning, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 were earned, and a walk in the game. Didn't get a strikeout in the game. It was really bad. Wilmer Font went out there and got the 1 out, struck a guy out, whoop-de-doo, ball game. It was not a pretty game for the Blue Jays all around. And for this team to be good, we talked about the offense to get going. Yeah, but that's only the other things stayed packed and stayed good. They haven't. The pitching was terrible today, flat out. Anybody on the pitching staff, other than Yamaguchi, Brucke, and Romano, would have told you otherwise. They would have said they had terrible outings. The offense was fantastic, but it was the one game where pitching sucked. So let's see what happens coming up against the Tampa Bay Rays in the weekend. You split the one game apiece against the Marlins. You have the off day tomorrow before you take on Tampa on Friday. Tanner Roark gets the ball in game 1 of that series. He looks to bounce back after that horrendous outing against Boston. Just looking to throw strikes. That's what he's looking for in that start. And then on Saturday, they take on the Rays. Chase Anderson looks to go for his second start as a Blue Jay. It's a 6:37 first pitch as well. And then in the finale on Sunday, Ryan Yarbrough, Matt Shoemaker are the expected starters in that game at 3:07 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, so guys, you know what? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and enjoyed all the home runs by the Blue Jays in this game, because that's about all you can be happy about, smack that like button to appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the game, your thoughts on the video. Guys, let me know what you guys thought about everything towards this game, the goods, the bads. What do you take from a game like this? I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments below. Twitter is down below for myself as well. Follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff. Also, the Instagram page is down below as well. So follow that up if you guys are interested in that. And I will talk to you guys Raptors Edition as they play the Denver Nuggets in the final seeding game before the playoffs at 1:30 on Friday. Looking to end the seeding game strong. Even if you lose the game, it doesn't mean anything. So let's go out there and let's see what happens there for the Raptors at 1:30 on Friday. And as for the Blue Jays, like we talked about, their next contest is on Friday against the Tampa Bay Rays in Buffalo, as the Jays look to get back in the win column, just put a complete game together. I mean, that's just what we're looking for. Just one. Give me something here. Tanner Roark on the mound there on Friday night in game 1 of the 3-game set. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk to you guys then.